everyone. My name is Wilfred Lee. Experience as a pro se litigant in 2 separate employment discrimination cases in 2 separate districts. I had the pleasure of Lucinda's videos, and I had to do it on my own with limited research, limited resources. So it was really, really difficult the first time around navigating the forum. And I got to warn you first, this is a very serious form that you are about to enter. So make sure that you follow the rules, specifically the federal rules of civil procedure, because there are many forces you don't see working against you. And even though they will ignore you following the rules and calling foul against the defendants, you won't be given the same liberty if the defendants call foul against you for not following the rules. The first time around, and I've seen people get put out for the way they worded a motion to the judge. Their case was dismissed. I've seen people get put out for not signing a cover sheet, not signing a cover sheet properly. All kinds of little things, all kinds of little technicalities that it gets you put out. So the first time around, this is what I learned. The first time around, I learned that a lot of people go into this circumstance of, suing for their rights under the Civil Rights Act of Title VII, and they end up with no justice. Now, what do we think justice is, right? Well, reasonable conclusion, and I settled my second case. So I settled 2 employment discrimination cases by myself. That's what I say. I say get justice. So for me, that was settlements. That was settlements. They weren't billions of dollars, they weren't millions of dollars, but I was comfortable with the number. And the second time around, I realized that the number wasn't as significant as I thought it was, because what did I lose? I lost the employment experience. It changed my career. So there really wasn't a value I could put on that. There wasn't really a number I could put on that. If they said $1 million, it wouldn't have mattered, because I still lost that experience, that volatile movement in my career. So that's why I said, you got to be realistic about where you're at and how much energy you're going to put into it. Because I think I was spending my first case, like 50 hours a week on it. Because you're going to have to combat these motions, and you're going to have to make motions. And sometimes you got to get, you got to get your research together. You can't just shoot off the hip. You got to get your research together. Don't let yourself get into this and walk away with nothing. I don't know how many people did that. A lot of people did that and walked away with nothing. And I can only imagine how they went through life feeling like they didn't do enough, or they got railroaded, or whatever the case may be. But that's what I noticed a lot. Every case I saw, defeat. And all I kept thinking was, I know at some point they got offered some money. It could have been anything, but they are probably holding on to this illusion of 6 figures or $1 million or something like that. And that does happen, but not within a little bit of time you try and make it happen. Whatever that means for you. It doesn't always have to be money. It could be an apology. I don't know. Everybody's different, but just don't let your case get bottomed out without getting anything. Don't let your case get that dismissed with prejudice. Watch Lucinda's videos. That's what helped me the second time around. A lot of great information. She's really on ball with what's going on, and she has her finger on the pulse. Watch her videos. They will help you a lot. Start with the very, very first one, learning how to write a motion. I had an acronym about how to write. IRAC. Yes. Yeah, IRAC is very important. That's probably the best thing Lucinda shares with you as a pro se. Legal writing, because the way that they read this is not the way you're going to write it. You have to use IRAC for them to even understand why they're reading and what they're supposed to do. Without IRAC, real quick, they'll look at it and make a decision without even reading it. Oh, denied. But with IRAC, they'll look at it and say, yeah, that conclusion is valid. We'll consider it, And if your motion, I say this is a rule of thumb. If your motion doesn't get judged on within 8 days, it's really being taken seriously. So be patient. Don't bother the court. Don't bother them about hurry up and decide. No, if they take them more than 8 days, because I've had motions I filed, and in 24 hours without the defendants even doing anything, denied. Denied. So
that's awesome.